Hey, we're Paige and Alex, co-op students at Goose Digital. Week 15, last blog, last video.
We're not doing a tool demo this week. No feature breakdown, no pipeline walkthrough.
Just an honest look back at 15 weeks. What was hard, what was worth it, and what we tell someone thinking about doing it next summer.
Let's get into it. The difference between this and a school project isn't the complexity, it's the feedback loop. In school, you submit something, and then you wait for a grade. But here, you build something, you put it in front of a real person, you watch them use it, and then you go fix what didn't work. You implement, review, test, and repeat. That's the actual job. Getting comfortable in that cycle early is probably the most useful thing that this placement gave me. The hardest part of last week was a storage conflict that could only be found one way. You build the full brief, you generate the real site, and then you see what broke, without any shortcuts, and you just run the whole pipeline and wait. Debugging like that is slow and frustrating, and it's also exactly what production work looks like. The most satisfying moment was seeing a real client feedback on a generated site. Someone who had no involvement in building the tool, looking at the output, and being very happy with it. That doesn't come from a rubric. However, if I started again, I'd skip the tools that actually looked good in the demos and fell apart under real conditions, and get to what actually worked faster. I'd outline the right structure earlier, because by the end of it, it was clear that the 7-step wizard was the right model. We got there through iteration, but knowing what I know now, I would have started there. And I'd push earlier to have the build process run inside the tool itself. Right now, a developer has to pull the output into a codebase to see a real prototype, and removing that step would open things up significantly. The thing I'll actually take with me is the people. Meeting designers, social teams, account leads, people doing the real work with real opinions about their workflows. And this is a completely different kind of learning than anything that could happen in a classroom. Their feedback shaped both projects in the ways no internal testing would have.
The hardest stretch was near the end. Real ads, real clients, real deadlines. And then a storage conflict between the two tools surfaced and required redeployment to fix. The timing was the hard part. Bugs needed to be fixed while the tool was in use. Storage bugs needed to be fixed carefully so ads weren't wiped. When the stakes are real and the tool needs to work at the same time, the pressure is different from anything a school project prepares you for. The most satisfying moment was also near the end. Seeing ads that came out of the tool, ads that clients approved, that went live. Seeing posts online in my feed with hero images made in the tool. Something built over 15 weeks, used by real people, in the wild. That doesn't happen in school. If I started again, I'd spend more time upfront mapping out the small things, the UI adjustments, the workflow changes, the features that made the tool easier for the people actually using it. Not because those things are more important than the bigger features, but because getting them out of the way early frees up the second half for expanding what the tool can actually do, instead of modifying how it works. The scope of those smaller changes only becomes clear once you're in it, but if I could see it from day one, I'd tackle it first. For Alex, this co-op is a final look of what's coming. He's heading into 4th year and then into the workforce. For me, it was something different. I'm earlier in school, and this was a glimpse, well ahead of schedule, of what work actually feels like, what skills actually matter, and what I want to keep building towards. I'm taking that with me through the rest of it.
And if you're thinking about applying to Goose Digital next summer, this kind of co-op gives you a lot of room to take your project somewhere. That's the opportunity and the responsibility at the same time.
Plan early, ask questions, ask for feedback more than feels comfortable, and really listen to your users. Not just when they tell you something is broken, but when they describe how they work and what would make it easier.
And it doesn't matter if you personally don't see the value in the feature that they're asking for. If it makes their workflow better, the tool gets better.
There's so much to learn from people who are already in the field. AI is a generally useful tool, but the people around you, the designers, the strategists, the account leads, the clients, are still the best resources in the room.
We had a great time.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you out there.
See you out there. Bye!